Hey everybody, I wanted to make a Beatle Finds video. Feels like I haven't made one in a while, but I don't think it's actually been that long. But I found some really cool stuff in the last couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to share it with you right now. So here we go. First things first, I picked this up. This is the Ballad John You Up, an old brown shoe. This is a single, and I think this was re-released in like mid 1970s or something like that. And I believe this was like a big box set. And I think they did them individually as well. I could be wrong about that, but I know there was definitely a box set. The guy at one of my local record stores had a bunch of these. Well, a bunch, he had about 3 or 4. And I decided to get the Ballad John You Up, an old brown shoe, because it's one of my favorite Beatles singles. And the record is very cool, the Apple label, and it plays at 45 RPMs, and this sounds excellent. Really happy with this pressing, and it's in stereo, of course. So yeah, I was happy to pick this up, and hopefully I'll try to get more of these if I can find them, although this batch of like 3 or 4 that I found were the only ones I've ever actually seen in a record store before. I've seen them online, but anyway, I was really happy to pick that up. I love that photo. Paul just looks so bummed out. He does not look very happy, but anyway, I happened to pick that up. Ballad John You Up, old brown shoe. Then, this is something really cool. This is Sgt Pepper. First, I'm getting ahead of myself here. This is Sgt Pepper. And this is from 1995. This was released in connection with the Beatles anthology. I guess they re-released or put everything out on vinyl when anthology came out in 94, 95. And this was actually, I got this in the shrink. And I was going to keep it in the shrink, but then I thought, no, I'm going to take it out of the shrink because it's not all that rare. It's pretty common. But in the shrink, it did have this, and I stuck it to the inner bag just to have it. It said limited edition. Now, I guess that is true. It's a limited edition. But really the story about this is that when the anthology came out, they wanted to put out the Beatles albums on vinyl. So they did so. But these are all from digital masters, so I've heard. Except this one, I will say, I'll show you the actual record here. It's in pristine quality because it was sealed. It's on the Capital Purple label. And it's mastered by none other than Wally, who, as you know, I'm a big fan of Wally's work with Capital Purple labels. So I was really happy to pick this up. And it sounds great. I don't think it sounds any better than my favorite Sgt Pepper pressing, which is the one on another Capital Purple label, but it's mastered by a guy named Jay LeMay. I don't think it's any better than that one, although it's very close. I would say maybe the Jay LeMay one has a little bit of a better bass sound going on. And I would guess that's maybe due to the fact that the Jay LeMay one is sourced from the analog tapes, and this is sourced from the digital files. Anyway, it's really cool to have this though, because I don't have any of the those 1995 pressings, and I guess I'll show you the inside here. Another reason I took it out of the shrink is that the shrink was actually was kind of hurting the record. It was like folding down, and like these corners were kind of coming inward, all the corners. The shrink was like, I guess over time the shrink had shrunk, and it was causing a little bit of damage, it seemed like. Also on the inside here, I don't know if you can see, but there's like little like bits of like wrinkling going on because it's being just squeezed inside that shrink. So I'm kind of glad I took it out of that shrink wrap, to be honest with you. And when I say sealed, it was completely sealed. There was no cut on the side or anything. And then of course it comes with the insert. And oddly enough, this insert is a little bit like lighter in color. The green is not quite as that dark green as you're used to seeing, so a little variation there. And like I said, I picked this up for, I think I got it for 20 bucks. So 20 bucks for a sealed Beatles album, I will pay that always. always, if I have the 20 bucks. And I happen to have it this time, so I picked this up. So yeah, Sgt Pepper, and this is in stereo, of course, and I'll show you the back, because the back actually is the most interesting part. You got the barcode, and then you also get the difference here is you get the Capitol logo, the Parlophone logo, and the Apple logo all on one record. I've actually never seen that before, all three of those. I've seen the Capitol and the EMI, or the Capitol and the Apple, or the EMI and the Apple, but never all three of them all together, so that's kind of cool. Okay, I'll put that up there. Then just today, I was in my favorite record shop, Record Outlet, and I found this. This is a mono Sgt Pepper original pressing from '67, and it's not in the best shape, but it was $5. $5, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna pick it up and see if I can maybe clean up the record a little bit and compare it to my current US mono Pepper, which is also in not the best shape. So there's the back there. And then, oh yeah, this one, actually I should have done a comparison, but this is the inner sleeve here, and you can see it's just that darker green compared to the other one. Actually, let's pull that out, why not? Let's do a little comparison. If I can get it out of here without destroying everything. So, as you can see here, here's 1995, here's an original 67, so it's just much richer color and a little bit darker and better, in my opinion. Also, this mono pressing, I'll show you the gatefold here because that's always cool. Has a little, well, not a little bit, has a whole lot of problems going on here with this top, the split cardboard. But it does come with the original psychedelic inner sleeve, which I think is very cool. And then, of course, Capitol Rainbow label. Record, it's not in bad shape. It needs a cleaning, that's for sure. And it's got a few scuffs. I haven't listened to it yet, so we'll see. Maybe it's a complete disaster. Hopefully not. But anyway, I was glad to add to the collection. And if for some reason it's not any better than the one I already had, I'll probably just give this to somebody that would like a mono Sgt Pepper. Because you gotta have a mono Sgt Pepper. Also, speaking of Sgt Pepper news, I've already pre-ordered the 6-disc deluxe box set of the 50th anniversary of Pepper. I pre-ordered mine. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for May 26th. I believe that's the release date. So when it gets here, I will show it. I will make a video and show it to you guys as soon as possible. Okay, yesterday I went to, so just so you know, there's like, in my area, there's like 4 main record stores that I go to. There's my favorite one, which is Record Outlet. And then there's 3 other ones. There's Jockmo Records, there's Grady's Records, and then there's Salzer's. Salzer's is kind of like the big chain. Well, it's not a chain, but it's a very big store. It's not really like a mom and pop record store. The other ones are all kind of mom and pop places. Anyway, I picked this one up at Grady's, and this is Ram, and this is from the Paul McCartney Archive Collection. And this was brand new in the shrink. And I have Band on the Run and Venus and Mars from this reissue remaster collection from 2012. This one's from 2012. And I'd always kind of held off on the Ram, getting Ram on vinyl, because I bought like the CD when it came out of this. But this was a good price and it was sealed, so I thought I'd pick it up. And I'm so surprised at how great this is. This sounds amazing. And the bonus disc alone is worth the purchase, in my opinion. It just really sounds good, and all the bonus tracks are fantastic. So there's the gatefold there, and then it's just a typical back cover. I will say you don't get like a booklet or anything with this. There's no like real extras other than the bonus disc. But it comes, you get a cool picture of Paul there. You do get the lyrics to Ram for the first time ever. First time ever that I knew. Well, no, I guess my Japanese pressing does have lyrics, but they're not exactly correct. Here is, let me flip it around here without destroying it. There's the label. Nice yellow label there with Ram on the front and the back. And then we got disc, and these one complaint I also have about these, it's so hard to get these back in here. They're like, you gotta get it perfect. Oh well, that time it went pretty good. Although when you get to the very end of it here, it's like you gotta really ease it in there because they don't want to damage anything. But you know, those are small complaints, of course. Disc 2, you get Linda. And it looks like this. Red label. And this bonus disc, like I said, it's fantastic. All the songs on here are amazing. You get the single, Another Day, and Oh Woman Oh Why, which is one of my favorite Paul McCartney singles. Then you also get a bunch of bonus tracks, in which my favorite of the bonus tracks is a song called Road All Night. It's just Paul on guitar with a drummer, I think it's Denny Sywell. And Paul is just going absolutely insane and just screaming his head off. Goes for about 8 minutes. Fantastic. So I highly recommend this Ram remaster. I also want to get the Ram remaster that they released in mono. I'd love to get that someday. It's really expensive online, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but I will certainly try my best. Okay, these last two things are, they're just Beatle-related items. The first one actually has a bona fide Beatle involvement. I picked this up. This is Splinter. This is a band that was signed to George Harrison's Dark Horse Records label, and George actually produced this record, and he plays guitar, well, he plays on every single track on this record. Mostly guitar, some bass, some organ, piano stuff, some percussion. But this album's really good. I've always seen this. I never actually listened to it. I listened to it last night. I really like it. It's good for like mid-70s pop rock songs. It's really solid. All the session musicians are all people that played on George's records. You get Klaus Voormann, Billy Preston, Jim Keltner, Gary Wright, the usual crowd who played on George's records. It's a gatefold. It's kind of cool. There's the back. And this is, all the photos were taken at George's Friar Park mansion, which is kind of cool. And then I'll show you the actual record. This is not in the best shape, but you get the Dark Horse sleeve there. And here is side one, and I found out there is a lot of hair on here for some reason. This is a promotional copy, so it says on the label. Let me see if I can get really close in there. Come on. Why is such a glare there? Well, maybe you can't see it. Maybe if I do this. Can you see it now? Not really. Well, I promise you, on this label, it says promotional copy right there. So that's kind of cool to have. Another interesting thing about this record is that George, when he's listed as a musician, he's listed under his secret name that he had to use, Harry Georgeson. There you go. But it does say produced by George Harrison. So that's Splinter on the Dark Horse label. Last but not least, my friend Casey gave me this today, and this has no Beatles involvement whatsoever, but it's kind of fun. I haven't listened to it yet. It's called Beatle Country with Charles River Valley Boys, with the Charles River Valley Boys. And it's, I guess, just Beatles songs done in a country style. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be cool. It's on Elektra Records. That's what it looks like. Looks like it's in good shape. It hasn't been played much. That could be either a good thing or a bad thing. So, we'll put this on and see how it sounds, and then, yeah, that's about it. I'm just looking at the song listing here, which is interesting. I see Paperback Riders on here and Norwegian Wood. Done country style. That's going to be very interesting to hear. Okay, well, that's it for now. Let me know in the comments below if you have anything to add to some of these Beatle finds I have, or maybe I said something incorrect, or you have something that I left out that was a huge omission. I would love to read the comments. So that's it. Okay, we'll see you next time, my Beatle people.